Hello everyone, this is Lord Shadrach speaking. I'm making this video to speak out in defense of furries. Now, I'm not a furry. I am more of a furry sympathizer. And for those of you who don't know, a furry sympathizer is someone who is not a furry, but likes them regardless and is willing to stick up for them, as I'm doing in this video right now. I like furries. Don't get me wrong. They're very awesome. I like what they do. If you're a furry and you're watching this, my heart goes out to y'all. You guys are pretty awesome. You guys are badass. You guys do all sorts of cool things. Now, on to the video. I am sick and tired of all these misconceptions about furries. Misconceptions like, oh, furries like to fuck animals, or furries are freaks, or furries are a bunch of weirdos. I just want to knock those people out that want to say that shit about furries. Furries are just people. They're just human beings who, for some reason or another, like to put on a fursuit and act like their furry character. They do it for fun, they do it for escapism, or they just do it because they like acting out as their character. They're not putting on their fursuits to have sex with wild animals or anything like that. They are just people that like doing it because, as I said before, it provides them as a means of escaping reality and living out some kind of a fantasy. There are many reasons why furries engage into that stuff. Having sex with animals is not one of them. And if there are furries that do engage in bestiality, I will have to assume that it counts to being maybe 1%. 1% at the least, 5% at the most. Being a furry does not make one into bestiality. It would be saying that being a biker makes one a Hell's Angel, or being a Muslim or an Arab makes one a terrorist, or being a German makes one a Nazi. It would be saying that being a Russian makes you a communist, and so forth and so on. And that's not the case. A does not make you B. Just because someone is a furry doesn't mean that they're a bunch of weirdos wanting to fuck animals. They're just human beings that like acting out this character, and they're just doing it for fun. In fact, the children that see these furries in costumes, these little kids will run up and hug these furries, you know? Because furries are just human beings. And as for their fursuits, oh my goodness, the hard work they put in creating these fursuits is truly awesome. Whether they had someone make the fursuits themselves or the ones that made their own fursuits, I'd have to say that these fursuits that they make are truly professional quality. Now, I have no intention of ever getting a fursuit since I'm not a furry by any means, but I am very active with furry communities on Facebook. But one thing is for certain, they're just people. Why do you have to judge these individuals based on a misconception and based on some incorrect stereotype about furries? They're not into bestiality. They're not people that wish they were animals. They're just people that like acting out their characters. And that's it. They're just human beings that enjoy this sort of stuff. They're not into fucking animals. They're just human beings who act out their characters. I am sick and tired of how furries are being stereotyped, and even though I'm not a furry, I cannot stand a stereotype. I will admit at one time I used to not like furries, but then I started reading about furries. I started to research about furries. And then I realized, wow, they're just like people. They're pretty awesome people. And then I made the change from hater to fan. I ended up becoming a fan of furries and ended up liking furries for what they are. So in closing, do your research on furries before you make a judgment against them. Furries are just people. That is all they are. People who like wearing fursuits. My message has been sent. Delivering now.